Hello, welcome to the 24th day of October 2025. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, a live video exercise that I do each and every morning at around 5:30 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about my last day, namely the last 24 hours, how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met, go over them to see where I did well and where I did poorly, so I can learn from either case. It's funny. I used to talk about how I talk about my day and my night, but I really don't need to talk about the nights anymore. I sleep very well, so used to be nights were kind of a torture for me. Um, I couldn't sleep. I'd get up and 3 a.m. and stare at the ceiling, and so much stress. And for a while there, I was even having horrible panic attacks in the middle of the night, which is just, oh my gosh, those were awful. It's been a long, long time. Those were some bad years. Anyway, but fortunately, I only have to really reflect on the day. Nights are pretty good. Although I do wake up with this situation that's going on. I do wake up a little bit at night and think about that sometimes. So, but nothing like before. Anyway, welcome to new subscribers to the channel. It's good to have you here. I am a 61-year-old retired American. Well, I guess I'm not so retired anymore. I've got a job again. American living here in the Valley of Tea, aka Yada community, the community of Yada in Shizuoka City, Japan. I live with my wife, Yumiko, same age. We have a grown daughter, Emily, living up in Tokyo. Life is pretty straightforward and simple here, much simpler than the life I lived in the United States. I would say that we definitely shifted our paradigm in coming here. Been here about 10 months now, closing on 11. This is a private journal, which you're publicly welcome to join and watch and leave comments and criticisms. And I will read those at the end, but I tend to hold off reading until I get through the stuff I want to talk about. I do talk about sensitive subjects during this time, namely death. Although lately I haven't gone to it in too much detail, but just a heads up because past experience has proven that that topic is unsettling to some people. And a huge thank you to my YouTube subscribers, um, to my members on YouTube, and my Patreon supporters. I really do appreciate all that you do. You literally make so much of the stuff that has happened that is outside of the scope of my day to day. You provide the impetus and the fuel and the funds, actually, for a lot of what I do. Thank you. Okay, with that, let's get started. For the last 24 hours, I keep a little notebook every day. I have two notes here. One says job and reaction. So, the job that I applied for was it a week ago, and then had sat for an interview on Wednesday. I successfully got it. So I got notice yesterday from the company that they've hired me, and I was spent a good deal of the day yesterday going through the induction process, uh, getting photos, providing documents. I'll be setting up a bank account here in Japan. My wife has a bank account, but I don't. So, but I'll have to get my own bank account now, and a few other things. I imagine this will take 2 weeks, a week or two, to get all this set up before I'll be up and running. Big news. But the important thing is, like I said, this is a journal entry where I'm not. I don't think I said this, but I'm not here to talk about the blow by blow of the journal entry. I'm here to share how I responded to things. And my response yesterday to getting the job was um, a very subtle elation, right? I didn't let it bubble up too much, not because I was suppressing it. It's just because I think maturity and age has kind of softened the extremes in some ways. I was very, very happy to get this job. And so I celebrated with a haircut and some ice cream. And I got some ice cream for Yumiko, and I bought her the fancy stuff, the Haagen-Dazs that she likes. So we kind of splurged a little bit. That was nice. And subtly, I could really feel there was a spring in my step that I hadn't known for a while. And just kind of the celebratory thing that comes of something new and interesting. Now, as for being a job, it's really only a job in the fact that I'm employed. It won't be a lot of work. My plan is to work 1 hour a day, Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. every day. Sitting right here, this will be my place of work. I don't have to go into an office. I get to work from here, and I'll be having English conversation with Japanese people my age, looking for who speak English and are looking for a conversation partner. And that's my job. I'm basically an English teacher for old retired Japanese people, and I'll be able to do it all online. So that's what my schedule will look like. Probably within a couple of weeks, I'll be starting that process, and I'm excited about that. But it won't take up a lot of my time. I won't have to commute. I won't have to wear anything special. You know, my normal old guy clothes will do just fine. It'll be just a dedicated and determined way to spend an hour that I'll happen to get some remittance for, which will be nice. Now, the nice thing is, though, once this is all established, I can ramp up or down as I see fit, right? Well, I can't probably ramp down more than an hour, but to keep in good standing with the school. But I could ramp up. I could add additional hours. It's kind of like having you have a calendar associated with my profile, and I can then add hours, or just if I've got a free hour, I can sit here and strum my guitar and click on the button and go free. And if anyone wants to talk, they can pop in and join me. So I can add hours, and this is great because I can. And they told me they have lots of customers, so this is great because I can really. Ramp up and down as I see fit. This gives me, as the financial people say, a form of liquidity, right? And this will help to make sure, although it looks like I have a path to Social Security all laid out, this will provide an extra buffer, a backup plan should my again should I I fail in my calculations, and then after that, beyond that, a nice source of mad money. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, so that's the job. Yay, congratulations to me. Got a job. Um, I hadn't planned to talk about this, but I will. Um, on a slightly different front, I feel a little bit like a guy who trying to give up cigarettes, work, and did a good job for 11 months, but then I took a smoke, right? I feel I feel like I do feel like I've fallen backwards a little bit and backpedaled, and probably maybe even let down my fellow retirees who, I mean, there's a lot of them out there, and I get them mostly on X, right? I know a few of you are retired. You all are very pleasant and very much um, understanding, even if we don't always see eye to eye on everything. We're a very friendly group. We're very considerate of one another, and it's different. Over on X, though, there's the retired community of which I am a part, who are very vocal. Every time I bring up the topic of getting a job, they're like it's almost like I'm a front to them. It's almost like I'm I'm forcing them to take a cigarette, right? It's like, well, you know what? I think I might go back and just one smoke. And it's like, and hey, you should stuff one of these in your mouth too. Like, I'm not telling them that they have to go back and get to work. It's almost like they're they wear their freedom like this, like a badge of sorts. And hearing me talk about, I mean, in X it would be mainly me through my social posts talking about going back to work, um, tarnishes that badge in some way, right? It's interesting. So I get that, and I'm going to post my journal entry for this morning, which I've already written, talks about how I have a job, and I'm sure I'll get some comments on X from the fellow retiree crowd, telling me I'm a sellout. Well, so be it. But I I feel good about this. I'm very happy about this situation and the type of job, even though I didn't want to teach English. Really, what I don't want to do is I don't want to teach English to kids. Ugh, ugh. Teaching English to kids, teaching is not for me. Older people my age who have been through the same type of life arc that I've gone through, that can speak English, relatively well, we can actually have a conversation. It's not so bad. All right. So that's that for that. Now, my second note here is the situation, which I have never given you details about, and I probably never will. because it's not my situation. But the situation looms, and I was dealing with it yesterday. It loomed as well, and I was dealing with it this morning a little bit, and I'm kind of stunned by what's happening over there in America. Um, and I have to digest. There was just a few text messages just before I lighted up the live here that had me shaking my head. Um, I'm going to need so much so that I haven't really processed it, but I'll do that today and this weekend. Hmm. That's all I can say to that. The situation exists in an astonishing form. Okay, so getting to my creed. 8 objectives as follows. All of them are laid out in Going Alone in the chapter titled The Good Life. To be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions relative to my values, to recognize my true limits and true opportunity, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully. And number 8, to keep my balance. Boy, that's the fastest, most perfunctory revision visit of the creed that I've done in a long time. I think I'm a little exasperated after mentioning the situation. I just want to get this done, and I want to, I guess, get it done, get out, do my morning exercise. I missed it yesterday. I'm not blaming this at all, and certainly not any of you. But I missed it because I was watching the clock. Because usually I start this at 5:30, and radio exercise is at 6:30. So I've got an hour, and it takes me 5 minutes to walk to the spot where we do this. But yesterday, for various reasons, I didn't start this until like 10 minutes late. And so I was looking at the clock, and usually when I can see I'm 12 minutes in now, if I get to about the 45-minute mark, I better start winding down. It's rare that I go that long, but if I get there, I better start winding down because it's closing in on 6:15, and I'll need to, finish and get out of here. I forgot that I'd started 10 minutes late. So I wrapped up around the 50-minute mark. It was long yesterday, which was right at the start of radio exercise. So after I stopped the camera, I looked at the time. I couldn't make it. So you know what I did? I set up the phone here and I did a proxy radio exercise in my room. My wife was like, did you do radio exercise in your room? Because she could hear me doing it in here, yosh, yeesh. And I did it in here to make sure I did it. And I really missed it because I can't believe I'm not, that's not that. I'm really pleased with how much of a good influence walking 5 minutes to the spot, doing the calisthenics with my neighbors, a brief bit of social chit chatter, and then walking back does to jumpstart my day. And I really missed that yesterday, and I don't want to miss it today. I'm in no danger of missing it today. It's only 13 minutes in, but still, I think I'm going fast because I'm a little bit flustered, emotion rising by that situation. Um, I will tell you this. I will tell you this. The situation has gotten to the point that um, don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can do to help. Right? This is hashtag true limits from my creed, recognizing true limits and true opportunities. I think I have to recognize that, um, of course, it's a human being involved in this on the other side. The person that's involved on the other side um, doesn't want help and hmm, hmm, may not want that help. May doesn't want it and may even desire. This is where it gets hard and tricky to say. May even want and desire, or be too stubborn to not find themselves in the consequences of where they're headed. So that's the thing. That's the hard thing to wrap one's mind around. Is right. Is when you know when there's nothing you can really do other than to continue to put out your hand. Certainly, I'm not wanted. My presence isn't wanted, and my help not wanted, nor anybody else's. And they're of sound mind. If they weren't of sound mind, that would be a different thing. But people can be of sound mind and kind of give up, And the Stoics would, I'm reminded of Marcus Aurelius, who, the emperor, or no, was it Seneca? Seneca, yeah, Seneca the elder, who described him. He was talking to him, a man who was lamenting about life, and Seneca reminded him, well, this is going to be okay. Hashtag warning. I warned you. I talk about sensitive stuff. I talk about stuff that could trigger people. Okay. This is not me talking. This is Seneca the elder. I wish I could find the quote. It's right up there on my bookshelf in that red book right there. And Seneca described, well, why do you fret so much about life? You can always, turn up your wrist. And of course, what Seneca was referring to was suicide, right? Because to the Stoics, suicide was a legitimate out. I mean, they're they're to this and through cutting the ones of one's wrists. That was a Stoic option. Um, because you either the trials of life would you would sustain yourself through, or they would kill you, kill you or make you stronger, right? And not being in a situation, as someone in my life is, neither wanting to help yourself nor wanting the help of others, nor even seem to desire to have any wish to crawl or to climb out of what the circumstance you're in, nor having displayed any such will all of your adult life to do so, is to my mind not very much unlike Seneca's observation, you know, finding a way out, so to speak, if not as deliberate as what Seneca described. All right, I'm going to read one of the principles now. Today I'm going to read The Restless Man, which is a rather long one, I think. Reading again from Jim Jam Birds, who shows up in our comments sometimes. This is his copy of Going Alone, which I'm currently illustrating. The Restless Man. This is principle number 22 on page 266 of the hardbound edition. Sub-principle, diminished potency. And there's a very, very wonderful quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Let me see if I can move this candle up. Isn't this great? Isn't this great? I've got this old candle holder, antique Japanese candle holder. I can move it around. I've got this great quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, which I often paraphrase in my talks. Traveling is a fool's paradise. We owe to our first journeys the discovery that place is nothing. At home, I dream that at Naples, at Rome, I can be intoxicated with beauty and lose my sadness. I pack my trunk, embrace my friends, embark on the sea, and at last wake up in Naples. And there, beside me, is the stern fact, the sad self, unrelenting, identical, that I fled from. I seek the Vatican and the palaces. I affect to be intoxicated with sights and suggestions, but I am not intoxicated. My giant goes with me wherever I go. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Great passage, and who hasn't experienced this? Who amongst us who are travelers haven't experienced this, or world life changers, thinking that changing our circumstance and setting, our place will somehow improve the challenges that we face. They may give us some liberty or a new perspective or fresh air, but as Emerson says, my giant goes with me wherever I go. And here's my writing. The Restless Man. There must be some place better than here, somewhere I can go to find satisfaction. If only I hadn't made those earlier bad choices in life, hadn't gone left when I should have gone right or straight or heck, even back. If I'd only decided to spend my life with that other person, or stayed in that other city, or taken a different job, any direction at all beside the direction I went, which led me now to this settled, safe, dull, and unsatisfying place and life. Oh, how I want now that something else. Maybe I can convince those I'm bound to here, the people who expect and deserve my life with them here, the ones I've committed to, that there is some place better than here for us all. Maybe I can drag them all along with me, the spouse, the kids, the dog and cat. We'll throw away all this crap we've gained cluttering the garage, things we've bought attempting to settle our restless ticking, things which quell nothing for more than a day or a week, gaining us only further loss in their successful gain. Oh, damn it all to hell. Why am I stuck here in this place and doing this job and change the page and living in this home and behaving this way when none of it is really truly me? Why did I agree to this arrangement? Why can't I get away? This is what we think. This is what we do when nature prompts us to new horizons. Nature has wired us young, has wired the young to press boundaries, to go beyond limits, and to cross over mountains to find new places where more and better might be found. This instinct and drive are one of the ways we survive. It's how humans spread across the globe. It's why, while we went extinct in one place, others of us lived on elsewhere. Not everyone is built this way. Men more than women, I suspect, but both sexes to be sure. And there will be no peace to those who are so driven, the only peace being the arrival of old age. Expect some relief in the mid 50s or thereabouts, about the time and in relative proportion to your waning bodily potencies. Until then, suffer if you ignore the call to the path, referring to the path of wildness, and even then, suffer on. The restless man is a an instinct I think that we have that causes us to push on past the frontiers that we live within, which was a great thing when for early humans. I think when we were young, younger species, and we would have a clan family in a one valley, and the young people would get a little restless for a new life, and they would. A young man or two with a couple of young women maybe would splinter off and head off to the next valley and create a life there. And I often wonder about the valley I live in here, the Valley of Tea, the first humans that arrived here and witnessed that splendid view of Mount Fuji. But that took the restless man and woman to press beyond the boundaries of where they were living for whatever reasons into new life. And my point being that we do that. We have an instinct and an inclination to do that. Some of us more than others. And if we do it for the reason of pressing frontiers, then all the better. But if we do it for the reason of trying to escape unresolved circumstance and issues in our minds and our lives, then we might have less successful results in that capacity. Back to the situation, that's exactly what's going on, I think, with the person in question, never having dealt with any of that. Finally, those birds coming home to roost, having no practice or inclination in pressing boundaries or tackling things from a new perspective or a new frontier. It reminds me of David Bixler, my professor, who is referenced in the first chapter of Going Alone. We were standing at the edge in the California desert of a dry lake bed. The arroyo salt plain, no plants growing, just a white flat plain, where floodwaters would come down and fill the lake up. And at the edge of the lake were a few creosote bushes, and I found a hole there. And I asked my ex Professor Bixler, I said, "What happens when the flash floods come?" And the kangaroo rats that live down in the hole there, the water level rises up in the lake. That happens when the flash floods come, and it reaches the burrow's entrance. Do the kangaroo rats come out of their burrow and bound up the side of the hill to get away from the water? He said, "No, they just sit in there and drown." I'm glad I had this talk with myself, because that's what I realized now is happening with the situation. The person that I'm dealing with I hope if they see this, I hope they see it. They won't, but I hope they do. You're a kangaroo rat, and the water's coming. And if you don't get out of your kangaroo rat hole and bound up the side of the hill there to get away from the water, you're going to surely drown. Hmm. I think I see it now. Um, Talking with yourself can be a good thing. Okay, as for today, the next 24 hours, I'm meeting one of you. Yeah, a reader of Going Alone, a viewer of my channel. This would be a second time to meet. It's not. I don't get too many second visits. This person is coming all the way from Singapore, not to see me. They're going to be in Japan, and while they're in Japan, they're going to drop by, and we're going to have lunch today together. This person, I had a wonderful lunch with them earlier in the year. They were here. Excuse me. Brought Yumiko and I a wonderful hand coffee grinder, a really high end item that we use absolutely every day to grind our coffee for breakfast. Thank you very much. I won't name names, but thank you if you see this video. Thank you very much. We use it every day, and I'm looking forward to seeing you today and having a nice lunch, and maybe we can walk around Shizuoka a little bit and catch up. I'm looking forward to that. Really, really nice. Everybody that I've ever met is like that. They're all interesting to people. Anybody that winds up here, that pushes out of their familiar into someplace else is typically a very interesting person. I'm not saying that people that don't go anywhere aren't interesting, but if you the catalyst that it takes, the initiative that it takes to leave your um, comfortable behind, and go to a foreign place like this, if you're not Japanese, takes a lot, and it tends to filter out the fascinating people from the people that are maybe less so. I mean, some people aren't that interesting, right? I mean, they just, they're there's nothing wrong with Joe's six pack, but I mean, there's not sometimes. I mean, it's a six pack and reruns, right? I mean, just, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I've got friends that people that do that, but those that like Evelyn, wandering the world right now. She might be watching right now. Wandering the world right now. I mean, how can you not be a fascinating person? And that speaks to the type of human being that you are. You're the type of kangaroo rat, so to speak, to strain that analogy, who not only did not wait for the waters to rise to your burrow, but you got out of your burrow one day and said, looks like there's a big old desert out there. I think I'm going to bound up and go over this mountain and see what's on the other side. That's a fascinating kangaroo rat, if you don't mind me analogizing you to a kangaroo rat, Evelyn. My wife's the same way. I mean, she grew up here in the Valley of Tea. No one in her family does anything like what she did. And she said, there's a big old world out there. After high school, I'm going to get work two jobs and save enough money, and I'm going to go out and see it. Her family thought she was nuts. When she left her house here in Yara to go to America, where she met me, her father wouldn't even talk to her, just sat and looked at, didn't even say goodbye, because she was nuts. And my wife's a pretty fascinating person. So kudos to the explorers, kudos to the kangaroo rats among us who make, if they have an inclination to go, who go. Doesn't mean that you're not fascinating if you don't go. There's plenty of people who go in different ways, right? You go in lots of different ways. Oh, I wanted to leave with one last story, and a little bit of maybe a. I'm gonna share with you a joke that I wouldn't tell my wife, but I'll tell it to you. Yesterday, Yumiko and I went. She had some shopping to do, and we went to a recycle store. The recycle stores here are amazing, and she was, milling about looking for what she wanted, and they had a guitar section. And I play the guitar every day, a lot. I mean, it's one of the main things I do now. And I sit there with my $3 guitar back there that I just love to death. It's so good. And one of the things I love about it is that the middle string doesn't work right. It's got a funny middle string that sounds weird. And I love that about it. It's my Wabi Sabi guitar, my Wabi Sabi $3 guitar that is that holds a tune on five strings, but one of the strings is always weird, and I love that about it. Every time it sounds off. Anyway, I went over and I sat with the guitars and I tuned, because I have a tuner on my phone. I went through all of the acoustic guitars that they had in the store. I just sat there in the middle of the day tuning, and the staff know I'm doing that because they see me there, and I'm tuning the guitar, and I would play it, and I would put that one up and bring the next one down. And I was just talking about you, Evelyn. I see your comment, so you might want to, if you're curious to see what I said about you earlier, I analogized you. Well, you'll have to see the context. So if you want to see what I was saying about you earlier, it was all nice. You'll have to go back. But anyway, I was sitting there playing through all the guitars, and I was noticing, and these are all old guitars, right? And beautiful guitars, and incredibly cheap guitars. I mean, like $5, $7 guitars, and these are Yamahas and all kinds of just these beautiful, beautiful guitars. And I'm playing them, and I'm noticing the neck is thinner on one and longer on the other, and some of them are steel strings, and some of them were gut strings, and I tuned every one of them, and I would play the same riff over and over, put that guitar down, tune the next one, play it for a while. After, and I got lost in the time, and I was having so much fun. And I finally, until I settled on this one guitar, and I can't remember what the brand was, but it had a narrow neck, and I really liked the way it felt. And I was just having so much fun playing it. And I thought to myself, and this is where I'm gonna say something a little untoward that some people might take the wrong way. I thought that because these were all used guitars, they're all old guitars, they were all, and I was imagining other men's guitars. Sure, they might have belonged to another woman, but I simplified things and said these are all other men's guitars. And I was realizing, as I was having such a sensual experience with each of the guitars, enjoying the feel of the neck and the strings beneath my fingers and all that, and I actually sent my friend Molly a photo of me doing it. And I told him, I said, Jim, um, playing, sitting in a recycle store playing old guitars is like is like is how did I say it? I'm gonna look it up because I know I'm gonna say it wrong. I tried to say it tactfully. I think I've got it right here. And I actually made a little. Then I made a little because Molly and I talk all the time. You guys know I know Molly. Molly's my friend here in Japan that we had a long relationship with. I sent him a photo, and I said, Molly, playing a guitar at the recycle store feels like taking another man's woman for a test drive. Test drive. And then I made this AI video. This is not a video. This was made from a photo. This was made from a photo of me sitting. I gave it to the AI and that quote, and it made this. Playing a guitar at the recycle store feels like taking another woman for a drive. AI made that. Anyway, I can't believe I just shared that with all of you because that's not very politically correct, not very smart thing for a married man to say. But that's exactly what it felt like as I was sitting there playing these guitars. I was like, because these are the love of another man's life, right? And I don't know what happened to those guys, but I've got their guitars in my arms right now, and I'm playing it along and loving every minute of it. So there you go. There's your politically incorrect statement for the day. Don't tell my wife. But now I know what I'm going to be doing whenever I go to these recycle stores. Because Yumiko comes up, she says, "You want to go to the recycle store?" You bet. Let's go, because every one of them has a guitar section. Okay, I think I'm done. Let's read comments. It's 33 minutes in. How am I doing on time? 6:07. Yeah, I'll need to go pretty quick so I don't miss radio exercise. Hey, Tim, there's first comment from Tim. Good. I burned myself. Tim says, good morning. Congratulations on securing the job, Kurt. Weather check for the UK at 9:36 p.m. is 6.4 C. Wow, it's cold. And 80% humidity. Storm Benjamin was a bit of a damp squid. Ah, damp squid. I love the way you Brits say things. As for here, it's 12, no, it's 18 degrees, and well, humidity's way down, 55% humidity. It's not, it's a windy squid. it's a windy shrimp. Aaron Shizuoka. Robert says, hi, Kurt. And thank you, Robert. Robert joined me in my office hours yesterday, and we had a really nice talk. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi to me, Robert, yesterday. Robert says, hello to myself and Tim. These are the initial comments before everybody else arrived. Currently 54 degrees, 64% humidity, and an air quality of 14 in Napanee, Ontario, Canada. Nice. The air is nice and clear today, or at least clean. Robert says, congratulations to me. Thank you, Robert. Tim says, sounds like a perfect compromise to fit in with your daily life, plus getting to meet some interesting people along the way. You know, it was actually my neighbor up the street, the radio exercise. She was the one that gave me the idea. She speaks English really well. She's about 10 years older than me. And she said, you know, Kurt, you should go get into online teaching. He said, there's all kinds of seniors like me that are looking for, because she speaks English really well, looking people for native English speakers to talk with, you know, and so that's what I did. So yeah, so it was hopefully I'll get lots of people like her because she's fascinating, just like all of you are fascinating. Tim says, hi to Robert. Robert says, it's your life, your decision. Yeah. Robert says, there's purpose in forming a habit that serves. I like that. Tim says, in any situation, you can only do the best you can do and be at peace with that knowledge. As I found, there's no point in beating oneself up too much and questioning your judgment. I agree. Tim says, clutching the candle in its holder reminds me of some long lost Charles Dickens novel scene, doesn't it? And wouldn't that just be something you'd see in England, right? But it's a Japanese candle holder. It's so cool. I love this thing. And I've got this other one here. I bought this one last weekend at the antique fair. I love this one too. I love the little pointy bit. But no candle holder beats this one. This is my favorite. I love, no, none of my candle holders though. And I use them a lot. I have candles going pretty much all the time in the evening. Tim, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Nice, nice quote. Tim says, that is so cool, Kurt. Meeting people in person that you've connected with in a remote way can enhance context of life. Well put. That's exactly right. It enhances the context of life. I didn't think about that. Like it's like coloring in parts of the puzzle that in like a black and white, you know, coloring book, right? It's like coloring in parts where the outline was there. Like for all of you, I don't think I've met any of you in person. I don't know who everybody who's watching. There's 15 of you now. Maybe there may be someone out there I've met is watching, but all of you right now, you are like picture people in my mind, and you're real. But if I meet you in person, and the same is true of me, if we meet each other in person, or any of us meet in person, it fills in the blank in a three-dimensional kind of a tactile way, right? I mean, that's something that's not nothing. Evelyn says, "Hi, I'm late to the party, but we'll catch up later." Yeah, I hope you do, and I hope you don't. I hope you aren't. I hope you are bemused by my comments. Everything I said about you was flattery, intended as such. I was singling you out as an example of someone with courage, and I dovetailed that into a story that I was telling earlier that one of my professors told me that dealt with biology in the desert, and you somehow got wrangled into that, Evelyn. So I crossed up my using you to illustrate a concept with a past story, and they met. So I hope you won't be offended. My intent was completely nice. Robert says hi to Evelyn. There goes my clock. It says it's 6 o'clock when in fact it's 6:12. Hey, wow, it's not that bad. But the face on the dial says it's 10:30. I love my retired guy's clock. It's 10:30 and it gave five gongs. I just love that thing. I never change, and it always just does what it wants. And sometimes it rings 13 times. Um, Robert says the talk of cheap guitars is getting me excited. Ooh, settle down. Robert says, Kurt, I did begin learning to play guitar. I wish I had never learned. Uh, there were left-handed versions. Oh, really? Yeah. Are you left-handed? There may be a frost tonight, Tim says. Temps have dropped to 6. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty darn cold. Mord is Kunst. Hey, Mord is, I hope I'm saying that right. Is Mord first. Mord first Kunst. Welcome. This is the first time I remember seeing your name. Welcome. Have you thought about going back to IT? No, no, I don't want to. I don't want a real job. All I wanted to do is, and IT was what killed me. And all I want is something to add a little structure to my life, to make a little pocket change, and to have a little bit of fun. So, no IT for me. No real job for me. I don't want to do any job that that requires takes my life and takes my life away from me again. I want to be if I want hey Tim, I think you'll appreciate this, and Evelyn too. I want a job, and Evelyn is doing this. Evelyn went back to, I don't think Evelyn will mind. Evelyn went back to what she was doing in kind of a piecemeal, per diem manner. If I'm going to work, I want to work in a way that I can say, I can corral it. I'm in charge. I want to say, okay, I'm going to be a part of this on my terms, not I'm going to sell my soul over, so to speak, to the agency and have that be my life. I think Tim and Evelyn and others would get it. I think everybody gets it, right? Um, why, if and Mortis Kunst, I hope I'm saying it right, your name right. Why would I not get into IT? Because I absolutely hate IT. I mean, I really, really hate it I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, and I hate it too. And that's why I don't want to ever do it. And almost every other job I've ever had, I hate, I hate, I hate. The only job I've ever enjoyed is dishwashing. I enjoyed that job, and maybe I'll enjoy teaching English to old people again. Evelyn says, I can't wait to hear it. Sure, I will be flattered. Yeah, if I ever missed one good life meditation, my day wouldn't be. Oh, that's sweet, Evelyn. I really do. I really do appreciate that. And I do hope, like I'm meeting today, a viewer is coming through Japan, and he's gonna be flying in to Tokyo and taking the bullet train down. I think he's flying over right now, coming from Singapore. Um, but he's not doesn't live in Singapore. He's from Scotland. So we're just above you there, Tim. I hope I have a chance to meet any or all of you. If you ever find yourself in Japan, let me know and come on by, and we'll have lunch, and we'll have a nice time. And I'm always available on Discord at 10 o'clock to 10:30 um, a.m. Japan time. Come join me if you like. Robert was there yesterday. Everybody, I mean, I'm really lucky. Every day I do it, Monday through Friday. Usually somebody shows up, and I really have a nice time. Da, da. Tim says, exactly. You are in control of the work and the situation to fit into your life. Thank you, Tim. I appreciate the hallelujah. Tim says, that's why I turned down the offer to return to work 3 times. Well, you must have been damn good at what you did, Tim. That they want you to keep asking you to come back. Nobody's asked me to come back. Evelyn says, I love per diem work. I pick the days, times, and areas where I want to work. Often I leave early if I have to. There you go. Thank you for the hallelujah, Evelyn and Tim. I really do appreciate it. And I know Robert. Who's retired, also is picking up things on the side that he's doing on his terms. So I guess to circle back to Mort is Kurt Kunst's comment. Um, it's not so much the work itself. It's that it's where work fits in the great scheme of life, right? If work is the thing that I do, when people say, what do you do, and I do my job, i want I don't want it to be IT or anything else. I want to be doing whatever I'm doing, and I just happen to do a little bit of work on the side when and if I want to. All right, with that, I'm going to sign off for now, and I wish everybody a good day. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care. Bye bye. Tim says, I think it was easier for the bosses at work than trying to recruit my replacement. No, you're selling yourself short. I'm sure you were just that good. And that's me speaking honestly and truly from the heart, because you probably have a lot of built up clearly you do a lot of built up experience. You know the ropes. The bosses at work know that if we can just get Tim on the project, they don't have to worry about it, right? Bringing someone else on the project means that they're going to have to do the oversight. Tim's got things covered, right? There's a lot involved. There's a lot to us people that have experience that the management can just give the role over to. Robert says, thank you, Kurt, and bye all. And Mort is Kunst says, bye. Hope to see you again, Mort is Kunst. We do this every day. Tim says, have a great day. Thanks, Kurt. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye. Now it's time to do morning exercise. Oh, one last thing. It seems like I have a lot of these one last things. I learned something because I did the radio exercise on the phone yesterday. I set it up here and I did it. I could see the visual. When I do the radio exercise with everybody else, I'm actually doing it from the radio. We can't actually see it. And I realized, because I did it from the official NHK version, we're doing it wrong. We're doing the wrong moves. somehow, because we can't see anybody else doing it, we've picked up incorrect moves. And I started doing the, okay, dun, 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 and the thing on the radio was doing this. And I go, wait, we're doing the wrong. So just, I thought that was interesting. In evolution, they would call that genetic drift. Elvina, hey, Elvina, good to see you. Hello and goodbye, everyone. Have a great day. I'm glad I told that little extra story just so I could see your name, Elvina. Thank you. Good to see you. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.